everyone, it's Tone back again with another video, and today I'm going to be reviewing a book called Dark Lover by J.R. Ward. Now, Dark Lover is the first book in a series called The Black Dagger Brotherhood, and this book is a paranormal romance. So if you like all things vampire and true blood, then this book might be for you. So as per usual, I'm going to read you a bit about the plot, and then I'm going to tell you who my favorite characters were, what I liked about the book, what I didn't like, if anything, and give you my rating for the book. So here we go. In the shadows of the night in Cardwell, New York, there's a deadly turf war going on between vampires and their slayers. There exists a secret band of brothers like no other, 6 vampire warriors, defenders of their race, yet none of them relishes killing more than Wrath, the leader of the Black Dagger Brotherhood. The only purebred vampire left on Earth, Wrath has a score to settle with the Slayers, who murdered his parents centuries ago. But when one of his most trusted fighters is killed, leaving his half-breed daughter unaware of his existence or of her fate, Wrath must usher her into the world of the undead, a world of sensuality beyond her wildest dreams. Now, that's the plot as per Goodreads, and as you can tell, this book was right up my street. I love all things paranormal. I am a big fan of all things vampire. I'm very intrigued by the world of vampires and stuff like that because, you know, I secretly think that these creatures kind of really exist, and I kind of feel like to be forewarned is to be forearmed. So I always have garlic in my house. and I have holy water lying around, and I don't invite anybody to cross my threshold who I do not know intimately, if you know what I mean. So for me, this was a very exciting discovery, and I really enjoyed it. I loved the way J.R. Ward was able to turn an archetype of a villain, which is a vampire, and make that into the good guy, the guy that you're rooting for, that you don't want to be slain, and basically turn the good guys, who are the slayers, into the villain of the piece. She does that so intrinsically well, and it's done in such a clever way that you do not realize it until you're kind of along a ways in the journey, that actually you're rooting for who you naturally wouldn't. And the love story between Wrath and Beth, and how they kind of discover each other, and how Beth comes into her powers and matures and realizes who she is. I think that was beautifully well done. And also the way that Beth is kind of transported from her normal world in New York and just placed into this world of vampires and the paranormal and the supernatural. I thought that was cleverly done as well. Another thing that I really, really enjoyed about the book was I enjoyed the way that, you know, you got the sense that the brotherhood was kind of frayed and fragmented and lost their way, and Beth became kind of the linchpin that brought them back together. And they lost their way because Wrath, who is their natural leader, was also kind of trying to find his way in this new world, and he was kind of losing the will to live, and Beth kind of reignited that in him. I thought that story, the love story, the story of friendship, the story of banding together, the story of camaraderie, that was very, very well told in this book. You get introduced to each brother in the Black Dagger Brotherhood, and then the next book in the series is a story of one of the brothers in the book. So you become invested in the characters, you know. I really, really liked Beth. I thought she was a strong female lead. I liked Wrath, and I found kind of trying to understand his story quite intriguing. And then there were other characters like Thor and Fury that I was really drawn to as well as the kind of mundane characters like Butch, who is a normal human being, but kind of gets embroiled into this world of the Black Dagger Brotherhood. And, you know, he has to kind of find his place of how he fits in with the rest of the brothers. And I really, really liked that in the subsequent books in the series. So I really, really enjoyed this book. There wasn't anything that I didn't like because I took the book for what it was, a paranormal romance. I wasn't expecting fantastic prose or some kind of existential awareness or awakening to dawn upon me by reading these books. I took it, if you take it at face value, to be a vampire book, then you're gonna enjoy it if you're into that kind of thing. So I would give this book a 4.5 out of 5, which is a very, very high rating, I know. And I normally kind of reserve that for books that I feel like are absolutely fantastic. And I thought this was very, in terms of how stories went, if you like this kind of thing, you would really enjoy this book. So for this type of book in this genre, I think that rating is fitting. And I was looking on Goodreads to see what they rated it. And this book came in at a 4.2, so perhaps I'm a little bit generous, and because I really, really enjoy all things paranormal romance, and I'm a big fan of Sookie Stackhouse, and I watch Midnight Texas on Sci-Fi, and I'm basically working my way through Van Helsing on Netflix at the moment. So this is very, very much my sort of thing. So I really enjoyed that about this book, and I would encourage you guys to pick it up. But if you're looking for something that is, I don't know, kind of more meaty, you know, something that you would expect Anne Rice to kind of write, you know, something like The Vampire Lestat and that kind of thing, then you may not rate this as highly. But I think it's a good contender. Oh God, I don't want to make it seem like I'm being not kind to J.R. Ward, because I think she's a wonderful storyteller, but I feel like Anne Rice is able to use prose a little bit more eloquently, and I feel like J.R. Ward kind of makes it, tries to use like not modern day slang, but kind of slang that is familiar to her, and maybe people from New York may kind of use this kind of colloquial language. So for that reason, because I couldn't quite grasp some of the colloquialisms that were in the book, I wouldn't rate it on the same kind of caliber as anything that Anne Rice would write, because I feel like she kind of writes using language that is kind of more generic, and people from all over the world can kind of be able to kind of have some kind of affiliation with, if that kind of makes any sense. Anyway, so please let me know what you think. Have you read any of the Black Dagger Brotherhood? Which ones are your favorite? Please leave your comments down below. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And as usual, until next time, bye.